Hi everyone, it's Hannah and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be a super fun one. We are going to be tier ranking popular BookTok books. I have a few updates before we begin. I have two new tattoos that I just want to point out. Before I get started, I have my little semicolon here, and 7 is my birthday, August 7th, my lucky number, and 777 is the angel number of luck. So I've always wanted those two tattoos, finally got them. That is the only update that I think I have. Tier ranking BookTok books. There are a lot of books on this list. Some of them I don't know anything about, so those ones I'll be leaving at the bottom. So if you see some at the bottom that I didn't rank, it's just because I don't know enough about them to put them on this list. Then we have some that I've heard about but have not read, so I will rank those. Either they'll be in TBR or not for me. Then we have books that I have read, and I think that's it. I don't know what else there would be. Yeah, we have quite a few on here. I feel like there's more that I have read than I haven't, hopefully, but there's also a lot that are still on my TBR, and I just haven't gotten to them yet. So let's go ahead and look at the categories that I have. I think I have 7. We're gonna start at the bottom. The bottom one is TBR, so books that I have not read but I've heard of and they sound interesting. Then we have not for me / haven't read. So these are books that either I've heard about and I was just like, no thanks, no interest in that, or haven't read. Speak on those. We have That Was Bad for books that are like 2 stars and below. And then we have, I don't know, maybe I liked it a little. These are books that I would probably recommend, but not books that were like 4 or 5 stars. Then we have Okay, That Was Fun for the solid 4-star books. Then we have Wow, Thank You for Writing This in the 5-star category. And then we have Would Sell My Soul to Experience This for the First Time Again. Oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm very excited. We're just gonna jump right in and start with the first one on the list, which is My Dark Vanessa. And I'm gonna be really bad at remembering authors' names right now, so I'm sorry in advance. But I think this is by Kate Elizabeth Russell. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I enjoyed this book. It wasn't fun though, and it was painful, so I'm gonna put it in I liked it a little, and I would maybe recommend it. But it was a 4-star, but it just was a lot. And we have Verity by Colleen Hoover. Now, when I read this book, I was so invested and intrigued by like the plot line and what was going on. I mean, the writing was good for when I was reading it. Like, I read 2 or 3 Colleen Hoover books when I first started reading. Those, I think, at the time were okay, but now I can't read her books anymore. So I'm just gonna put Verity in That Was Fun because I did enjoy it at the time. Okay, then we have The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I really enjoyed this series. I read this series before. I mean, I probably saw it on TikTok, but I read it before I was ever into books or anything like that. I just bought it on Apple Books and read it. So I think The Deal was free. One of them was free, and I read that, and then I read the other 4 after that. So I'm gonna put The Deal in Okay, That Was Fun. I've seen the casting for the show, and I'm really wondering how the show's gonna work and what all is gonna go on, because I heard somebody say that it's gonna be YA, and that just doesn't make sense to me considering what was in the books. I need a sip of water. Next we have Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. This is one that I have not read, and I looked at it and was like, no. Okay, then we have Twisted Love by Anna Hong. I'm conflicted with this one because I love this series as a whole, and Twisted Games, the second one, is one of my like would sell my soul to read this again for the first time books, like for real. But this book itself was not my favorite, so I'm gonna put it in, I don't know, maybe I liked it a little, because I would definitely recommend it so that people read the other books. But I also feel like that's kind of a popular opinion, but I don't know. Some people love Alex, and that's fine. I'm not judging. I liked Alex. I just didn't like him as much as the other men. Then we have November 9 by Colleen Hoover. This is another Colleen Hoover book that I like, or that I read, and I liked it at the time. Thinking back and thinking about some of the things that happened in that book, I'm like, oh, no. So we're gonna put her in That Was Bad, because what? Next we have From Lukov with Love. Now, this is one that I just never picked up, never read it. I honestly don't really know much about it either, so I'm gonna skip Hook, Line, and Sinker because I don't, and It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey because I don't know those books and I don't know what they're about, and I just never really had any interest. in Tessa Bailey's books. And then we have Beach Read by Emily Henry, which is one that I really enjoyed, and we'll put that in okay, that was fun. I think I was expecting 5-star perfection from this book, and that wasn't like the vibe that I had while reading it. I enjoyed it, just not as much as I feel like everybody else does. Then we have The Spanish Love Deception. Now, I was going to pick this up one day, and then I read the back and I was like, that sounds interesting. Let me look at the reviews. And then I saw a review that scared me, so I've never picked it up, so we're just gonna put that in haven't read. Okay, The Inheritance Games. This is another series on BookTok that scared me, because I think throughout my reading journey, in the beginning, I really heavily relied on recommendations from other people that were also reading books that I liked to get a feel for my taste, you know? So I used to only take BookTok recommendations or like tube recommendations. If I saw one bad review, I probably wasn't gonna pick it up. And Inheritance Games is written by this Jennifer Lynn Barnes, who wrote the Bad Blood series, and I absolutely adore that series. So I never picked up The Inheritance Game, but I did read her other series, and I would recommend that one 10 times more. Then we have Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This is one that's actually on my TBR. I do want to get to this book eventually, because I know that everybody loves it, and it is a YA, so I should probably read it soon. I don't know, for some reason I just never picked it up. Okay, then we have They Both Die at the End. This book just was spoiled for me, so I just never picked it up. Simple as that. Then we have After by Anna Todd. Guys, this is hard for me because from the ages like 13 to 16, this series ruled my life. And I wasn't even like a Harry Styles, One Direction fan back then. I don't know, guys, After was a whole other experience on Wattpad. But the published version, I'm not gonna be reading that or recommending it, so I think I'm just gonna put it in not for me, because I can't trust what 13-year-old me was obsessed with, knowing what all goes down in those 3-4 books. Okay, Midnight Library is another one that I just never had any interest in picking up for some reason. Okay, then we have Daisy Jones and the Six, and we are putting her in wow, thank you for writing this, because wow, I do really love that story. I don't know if I gave it 5 stars, but I recommend it to everyone, especially new readers. Cannot say enough about this book. I liked the book more than I liked the show. Okay, then we have another Emily Henry book, but I have not read this one, so we're just gonna skip it. And then another Taylor Jenkins Reid book, which is the author of Daisy Jones and the Six, and this is Malibu Rising. This is on my TBR, so we'll see. Then we have We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. This is another one of those that I picked up early on, I feel like, in my reading journey, but I had the book since high school. But it was okay. I'm just gonna put in maybe I liked it a little because it was interesting. I feel like somebody else who gravitates more towards that kind of genre would have enjoyed it more than me. But then we have Funny You Should Ask. I don't know who this is by, but I did see a lot of really bad reviews by some of my favorite booktubers. Not really bad, but just like people that didn't enjoy it, and usually those people read books that I enjoy as well, so I just kind of got scared by that, so I'll put that in haven't read. Then we have Shatter Me. Guys, I feel like this is gonna upset some people, but I didn't love this book, and I have not continued the series. I read the novella that comes after this book. I don't know, I just wasn't invested. I didn't care enough to continue. I don't know though, like, I wouldn't say it's a bad book. I think it's written well, so I'm just gonna put it in, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Okay, then we have Every Last Word by somebody and 1,000 Kisses. 1,000 Kisses I've heard of everywhere and just never wanted to pick it up. And then Every Last Word, I don't know what it's about, so I'm not gonna speak on it. Bunny is a big TBR for me. I don't know who this is by either, but Bunny has been on my TBR since I started reading. This is a book I'm also a little scared of because people are like, it's confusing or it's like a mind fuck, which is fine. I just need to be like ready for it. Okay, these next two are ones that I see everywhere, and the first one definitely want to read, and that's Circe. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. So that's in a TBR, but the Song of Achilles, I feel like I've seen too much about it at this point that it would not be enjoyable for me to read, because I feel like I kind of already know what goes down and what's gonna happen. So I'm just gonna put that in not for me. Don't shoot me, okay? And if I should read it, let me know, because maybe I will. Maybe I'll change my mind. If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio is one of those books that I adore. I read it and was like, wow, that was just like amazingly done. So we're gonna put her in WoW. Thank you for writing this. I skipped Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I also have seen this one everywhere, and I think I saw somebody say that it was like a super slow burn. Like, I wasn't a big fantasy person when I first started reading, so that's what put me off of that, because if it's a slow burn on top of fantasy, then what am I, you know? But I also just never used to read fantasy, so maybe I'll come back to it one day. Okay, Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. I read this book years and years and years ago, before I was ever aware of booktok or anything. So, and I loved it when I read it, because I was like young and it was so angsty and he was such an asshole, and it was just the vibe I was going for at that time in my life. So I think I'll put it at that was fun. But I don't know, because caution if you read that book, it's a little fucked. Okay, this is another one I'm scared to talk about. We have A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I, again, not a huge fantasy person, so I never had interest in this book. And honestly, sometimes when fandoms are really big and they just love a series so much, it makes me not want to read it, especially if I'm really behind. So I'm just gonna put her in not for me. Sorry, I know so many people love her. Sorry. Red, White, and Royal Blue is a TBR, but like a hesitant TBR, because I don't even have the book. But like, if I saw it and there was nothing else at the store, I'd probably buy it. And then Six of Crows, I was about to say TBR, but that's not what I think it is. The Atlas 6 is what I was thinking of. The Atlas 6 by Olivier Blake, that is on my TBR. And then Six of Crows, I don't know anything about, so I'm not gonna comment on that. Oh, guys. Our next book is A Little Life by Anna Yanagihara, and I probably positively saying that wrong, but I love this book. It really shocks me that I read this book so early on in my reading career, in my reading journey, because it's like 900 pages, damn near like 800, something like that, and it is 800 pages of pain. But I would do it all again, and I fucking love the characters in this book. I specifically two that feel so real to me that they are quite literally I love them so much, and if I like saw them or somebody that looks like how I pictured them, I would probably start crying. So we're comfortably putting A Little Life and would sell my soul to experience this for the first time again. However, experiencing it again would be really painful, so do with that information what you will. You've Reached Sam, I see everywhere, and I just never pick it up. A Touch of Darkness. I think I'm gonna put this on TBR, because I have almost started reading this on my Kindle several times, but I never do for some reason, so maybe one day. Every Summer After, I hear a lot about, but I'm not super in the know about what that's about, so I'm just gonna skip it. Silent Patient, same thing. Normal People by Sally Rooney. If you know me, you already know where this is going, but for those of you who don't know, read this fucking book, and if you don't like it, just lie to me, because what? I love this book. This book changed my life. This is my favorite book of all time still, so obviously we're putting her in Would Sell My Soul to experience this for the first time again, and I absolutely would sell my soul 10 times over. Then we have The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I did not love this series, so I'm just gonna put it in, I don't know, maybe. Sorry. Book Lovers, TBR. I do want to read that. Conversation with Friends, we're gonna put by Sally Rooney, is gonna go in okay, that was fun, because I didn't love it as much as Normal People, but it was still still very good. The Unhoneymooners, my boyfriend's mom actually just bought this at probably Walmart the other day, so this is now going in TBR. And then The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This I've also heard a lot about, and it's another one that I'm just kind of like scared to read a little bit, but I'll put it in TBR. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Guys, I don't know what to do for this because, again, it was like one of the first books I read, and I do think that the message of the book I understood, and that was powerful, but I think so many other things within the book were just not good, you know? Like, I would never go back to reread this. I'm just gonna put her with her friend. Reminders of Him, never read, not for me, don't care. The Love Hypothesis by Allie Hazelwood. Guys, I don't know. I don't know about this one. I feel like I'm just gonna put in, I don't know, maybe, because it was fine, but I'm not gonna like scream about it to anybody. Okay, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder I also just bought because my grandpa called me the other day and was like, I'm reading this book that you might know. And I was like, oh, what is it? And he says that. I love you, Papa. So yeah, that's on the TBR now as well. Heartstopper I've heard of, but I think it's a graphic novel. And I don't know, I just haven't really had interest in graphic novels, so I've never really picked that one up. The Sweetest Oblivion I've heard about. Looks kind of interesting, so maybe TBR. Guys, this one also might hurt people's feelings. Where the Crawdads Sing by, does that say Delia Owens? I hated this book. I couldn't even get like 20 pages in. I don't actually know how far I got in this book, but however far it was, I didn't like it. So I'm putting it in that was bad. Okay, then we have The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I just never really wanted to read this. I don't know. It's like everybody was talking about it. I was like, I don't know. I don't care. And then we have Fourth Wing. Straight to the top. I don't care if that's like basic. I literally don't care. It was one of the first fantasy books that I loved. Okay, those are all the books, guys. I probably missed a bunch and I feel like there's not a ton that I liked, but that's okay. I think reading is so subjective, and if one of the books on here is one of your favorites and I put it in not for me, that's okay. That's okay. Don't hate me for it. I just have a weird and ever-growing taste. Like, I used to like Colleen Hoover books. Now I would probably want to hit myself over the head with a cement brick if I had to read them. So, you know, reading evolves and we all evolve. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching. If any of the books down here on the bottom are one of your favorites, let me know the vibes and maybe I'll read it. But, you know, can never have too many books on the TBR. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Do all the fun YouTube stuff and give this a thumbs up or subscribe if you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.